Welcome to the Michigan Skier Show with our host, Jim Neff. Join us each time as we explore the people, the places, and the events that shape our great sport.
Hi, welcome to Don Thomas's 50th anniversary open house. Won't you come in and join our guests?
Welcome to the Michigan Skier. I'm your host, Jim Neff. One of the true pioneers of Michigan skiing is Don Thomas, who founded the Don Thomas Sporthaus in Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. With us is Bob Thomas, Don's son. Bob, your father has been a true legend in Michigan skiing for a lot of years, and he started very early in the business.
He started as a hobby, and he really enjoyed the sport, and he started in 1953.
Now, when he started Don Thomas Sporthaus, I think it was only about 560 square feet.
It was like a two-car garage.
And it's grown to one of the great legendary ski shops in not only Michigan, but the entire Midwest. Our good friend Jack Berry had a chance to sit down with Don Thomas recently, and this is part one in the interview between Jack and Don.
Welcome to the Michigan Skier television show. Our guest today is Don Thomas, one of the pioneers in skiing in Michigan. Don started skiing when he was about 13 years old locally in the Detroit area. And Don, why don't you give us a little rundown on how that all started?
Well, actually, skiing at that time, Jack, really wasn't. I mean, there were, in southern Michigan, there were no ski areas, and of course, it was during the war, about 1941, 42, and a neighbor by the name of Gus Wellensick got us involved. He had a son my age, and I don't know what his interest was, but there were three or four of us in the neighborhood, and we got old maple skis from J.L. Hudson Company, I think, and we used to go out to Cass Benton Park and Riverbank Golf Course.
Where is Riverbank now?
Well, Riverbank is no longer. It was a golf course, Northwestern Highway and Telegraph Road, just east of that intersection. And there were some hills in there, and if we had snow, we'd go out skiing. And what that comprised was climbing. We'd slide down and then we'd climb up the hill. We'd do that 5 or 6 times, and then we'd find a nice little river or brook to cross country along, and we really enjoyed it. We had a great time.
Okay, now let's move on to college days up in Central Michigan. You became a ski salesman up there for the first time too. Is
yes,
that right?
Actually, yes, I started up at Central, and up in Clare, Michigan, was a ski made by two brothers called the McGonigal. Their names were the McGonigal boys, and they made a ski out of a metal that they called Dow metal. It was a aluminum composite ski, and they had been making snowshoes and skis for aircraft for the government at that time. And that ski had no edges, had a wooden platform, and while I was in college, I sold that ski. And
how much did they go for?
Oh, Lordy, I think probably about $45 or some such thing. But and then we started the first ski club at Central Michigan College, and I did most of my skiing up at Caberfay. We had a lot of students at that time that were from Cadillac, and we used to all go up to Caberfay, and we had just a marvelous time.
And you were a ski patroller then too?
Ski patroller at Caberfay, yeah.
Instructor?
At Snow Snake Mountain, which was up north of Clare, and that's now you're really digging back into the really early days of skiing around that area.
How many lifts were around in that time? Was it all rope tows then?
Lifts.
Never heard of that word, right?
Rope tows.
Rope tows?
All rope tows. Yeah, there was a treacherous one up the bowl at Caberfay that had an intermediary stop, and if you didn't get off of that guy quickly enough, you're going to bang into that tower. But it was all rope tows.
How many ski areas were in the state around that time?
Well, you had a couple of small ones that had started right after the war in 45, 46. When I say small ones, Riverbank Golf Course had a little rope tow. Now you went tobogganing, or you went sledding, or you went skiing. And it wasn't a ski area at that point. But there was Caberfay. You had the original Otsego Ski Club. You had Grayling Winter Sports Park. And I think that was about it back in those really early days.
Sure, absolutely. Absolutely.